Hello, my name is Quentin Cooper. Some may know me as Irate, but you are now listening to the introduction to my very own podcast, The Struggles of a Local Artist. With this podcast, we would discuss topics on how to overcome obstacles in the industry and some things that you might face as a local artist, interviews, and much more. So stay updated by subscribing to my YouTube channel, Irate Music. Tune in every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Thank you. Looking forward to see you there. Brow! Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Struggles of a Local Artist. My name is Quentin Cooper. If some of you don't know me, some may know me as Irate, also known as Irate Music. I just want to give a quick shout out and thanks to my homie, I don't know if he wants me to go by his rap name. Let's go by his rap name. K9 to God. Go follow him on Instagram and any other platforms, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Go follow him. He's a great artist. He's very inspired by what he does. Also want to do the little how every episode we have Bible scripture. So, and I got a few things to talk about today other than what this episode is based on. The Bible scripture is, be completely humble and gentle and be patient, bearing with one another in love. That's Ephesians 4:2, New Testament. So, just a quick update. I've been working very hard on this podcast. I'm trying to get a co-host. Shout out to my homie Adrian. He'll be on the show soon. We're going to interview him and introduce him in the next episode. So right now I'm just working on a few things. I did a couple performances with Stupid November. Shout out them. Go follow them on Instagram. A great band, man. We did a couple live studio recordings, and we had a guy, shout out Matt. Or Mike, I'm sorry. No, Matt, yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry, man. Shout out Matt, you know what I'm saying? He was on the video with the camcorder. He was killing it, man. He's very talented. If you guys need a music video or anything that has anything related to video, shout him out and, hit him up and get it going with him. And just want to switch up a few things with this episode today. I want to start doing, little fun facts with the Bible scriptures. So today's fun fact, it says, eating chocolate before studying and or taking tests increases your chance of understanding information and passing with a higher grade. I don't know how accurate that is. Personally, I've never done, whatever this fact is talking about. I've never eaten chocolate before a test or before an exam. But apparently, the saying is kind of accurate that if you eat chocolate before taking a test, you're going to increase your chances of passing and retaining information. So that's kind of that's interesting, that because how I think that might be true is because I'm pretty sure chocolate has a low percentage of caffeine, and I know caffeine enhances thinking. So it might be true. I have to look into that. Or the viewers can look into it. Comment on the podcast if you guys look into it. Not sure who's gonna watch this, but oh, man, I got to take a breath. So today we're going to get into, obviously this is Struggles of a Local Artist. We're going to get into a couple things. More so some personal information that some may not know, some may know. And we're going to get right into that. So with this podcast today, episode 3, I'm going to talk about, a few things that I struggled with outside of music, obviously within music, and just a couple things that kind of affected pretty much my life and who I am today. So let's first start with things that I might have struggled with maybe recently with music, or if it had to be in the past. But but I'm just gonna try to keep it short with that topic, given the fact that this whole entire series of this podcast is based on things that I struggled with music. But I don't want it to get too boring and too, I wouldn't say just get too boring, because yes, we're gonna talk about music, but I want to also talk about other things. And when I get my co-host on here, I'm gonna have him run a couple episodes, so it's not gonna be just me. Maybe next few couple episodes he'll run it, so it'll give us a time to actually get in depth with episodes and try to plan things out so it's not so rushed or it's not so unorganized. But so that's what I'm gonna do in the future with my co-host. Shout out him. But yeah, so let me get on some things that I've struggled with. Maybe I'm gonna say lately. So lately I've been struggling with it's just been very hard to get motivated to make music, given the fact that it's so many people, that I see from my city that's doing a thing. No disrespect to them, but it's like, man, I've been working hard, and it's like nothing's coming from me. But I know God has a plan for me, and I know I just got to keep pushing. But I just been struggling with the fact that it's hard to get motivated to make music. It's not like I don't want to do it, and now with this new job, it's like, man, it's really, really hard, because I get out at 5, and then it's like, dang, it's dark out now, it's fall time, and it's like, you don't really want to do nothing. But yeah, so that's what I'm struggling with right now is motivation. But I know God, He's gonna direct me in the right path and get me on track with what I gotta do. So I just gotta keep pushing myself and keep trying to stay focused and motivated. But I know everything's gonna work out in my plan in my favor. So I can't act as if that's hindering me from. I can't make excuses for myself, I should say, but I am struggling with motivation at this time in my career of a local artist or artist in general. But yeah, so a few things I want to talk about outside of just music. If some may not know me, some may notice. I know a lot of my personal friends and family may notice. But when I tell people that don't know, they be like, what? No way. Like, really? I would have never known. But anyways, I'm about to get a little bit personal in this podcast. But if some may not know, I was in special ed. And outside of being just in special ed, it kind of was a struggle just having a learning disability. Not only that, people looking at you differently, people, talking behind your back about how you in the slow classes, people would say, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it was a struggle growing up, especially in middle school, because it was just so hard to. Sometimes I would hide before classes would start, so my friends wouldn't see me walk in those certain classes. And I look back and I'm just like, man, I really was acting that way. I should embrace the fact that I was in special ed because. Even though I was in special ed, I consider myself, I wouldn't say I'm intelligent, but I consider myself, I'm kind of knowledgeable of what I do and what I've learned. I've never really failed a class. I've always stayed up to date with homework and all the things, all the tools and stuff that I had around me. I always used them to my advantage. So, and I also graduated with a Regents diploma, and that's kind of impressive on my behalf. Given the fact that, so many people from my classes, like when I was in the little small classes, a lot of the kids either dropped out or, didn't even get a Regents diploma. So I think that's something that I need to embrace and need to stop keeping, a secret behind it and stop trying to trying to keep it from people. I mean, it's not something that people really need to know, but it's just like, it's a part of me, and I have to try to embrace that, so, and I did struggle when I got to college a little bit. I did, once I started to struggle, I started to, talk to professors like, hey, I got a learning disability. I need this done. I need that done. And, legally, with my IEP, professors and even at jobs, they have to they have to, basically make accommodations of, what you need. Legally, they have to do that. So, it's always good to keep in mind of whatever. I mean, even without being in special ed, and if you just struggle with retaining information in general, it's always good to let people know, so they don't, But yeah, so that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. And if anyone ever has been in special ed watching this or is in special ed watching this, listen, you're no different than nobody else. You learn the same material everybody else does. You just go at a slower pace, and nothing's wrong with going slow. Just like that that story with the what was it, the turtle and the tortoise or tortoise, whatever, however you want to say it, and the rabbit or the jack, whatever you want to call them. The turtle was going slow, but he still won the race. So, speed doesn't always matter in senses of education or whatever the case may be. Personally, I believe that kids shouldn't be immediately classified as special ed. They should take more tests to see if that's what they need. Not only that, I feel as if, a test cannot determine one's knowledge. So that's some good information to keep, at hand. That just because you failed a test doesn't mean you're not smart. I personally believe everyone's smart in their own ways, but that's just me. And and another thing I wanted to talk about was things that this is kind of really personal, and I hope my mom doesn't get offended, but I gotta, it affected me and made me who I am. So when my mom lost her job, it got really hard. It was times where we had to, like, I remember for my birthday, I got BioShock 2. That was like my favorite game at the time. Like, I was so excited. My mom was like, "You can get one thing, whatever you want," and I'm like, "Whatever I want, Mom." Excuse me. And I knew it literally wasn't whatever I want. But she put it like, she's a mother. I'm like 14 years old. She's just trying to make me happy on my birthday. So we go to GameStop. I'm looking around. I'm like, man, there's no good games out right now. Like, and I've seen the trailers for BioShock 2. And because I used to get those magazines from GameStop. I don't know if they still issue those magazines, the Game Informers, I think they were called. And I seen BioShock, and I'm like, yo, that game is so dope. Like, I should definitely try to cop that. But I mean, I wasn't as privileged as everyone else, but, so my birthday comes March 24th, and we go to GameStop, local GameStop. We head up in there. We walk in there. I'm so happy. I got the biggest smile on my face. I'm looking at my mom. She looking at me, and I just know it. You know what I'm saying? I just know it's about to go down. I'm about to give me a game, And mind you, my mother, she's there, so I can get. She's not too fun. She's not too familiar with games, so it's like, I can give me an info mature game because she's around, So I go in there. I'm looking around. I'm like, damn, there's no. I didn't say damn, obviously, before. I'm like, dang, Mom, there's not much games out, I don't know what to get, She's like, man, what about this game? And I'm like, yeah, let's get that game. So I get home. I play BioShock. I beat it in 2 days. And it was because I knew as a kid, like, growing up, I hated horror, but at the same time, I love it. And now I'm in love with horror now. It's crazy. Like, I love the series. Stephen King's, he's a genius. But yeah, so BioShock was kind of like a horror game. And after I beat it, I'm like, yo, this game is fire. Like, I can't wait for the next one. And then as I got older, the next one came out, and I'm like, dude, this game's not like how it was before. Like, the other one was scary. This one is just like, like, it's just too modern for me. But the old ones were so creepy and, like, scary. Like, it was just fire. So I had beat BioShock. And then, long story short, let's get back on topic. As I was saying, my mother had lost her job. So, I she had asked me, like, because she knew, like, GameStop, you could trade in games and sell games, and, they'll give you money for it. So she's like, you got any games that, you might want to sell because, how we're struggling right now, so we're trying to get something to eat, all this, so she's like, you got any games you want to sell? I'm like, I mean, not in particular, but, I mean, I could try this game, and it was BioShock, and, it was out for 2 weeks, so I knew, like, in my head, she didn't know this, but in my head, I'm like, with this game, we would get the most money out of it. So she was like, you sure? I know I just bought this game. And I'm like, we need the money. So long story short, we went back to GameStop, traded it in. I think they only gave us like $30 for it, which is so unfortunate. She paid $65 for it. But, we needed the money for gas and for food. So that's another thing. That struggle, it kind of showed me how to be a man and how to make decisions and how to make sacrifices, so and I talked about it sometimes in my music, but it kind of was incognito. People didn't really know exactly what I was talking about, but it showed me how it gave me a foundation of how to manage and how to sacrifice and how to do what we got to do to get things done. And I think my mom, she's the best mother in the world. Like, she raised me and my brothers and sisters, like, without anybody really, I praise her, and I didn't have a father. My dad left me when I was 2, so I haven't seen my father in almost 20 years. So I thank God for my mother, everything that she's done for me. And, even though, like, it's kind of hard to say, people don't usually say, like, younger people don't usually say they're proud of somebody. But, I'm really proud of my mother, like, the things that we've went through together and how she, her struggles in particular, how she's overcome them and how she's still, like, the strongest woman in the world. I'm proud of her and I thank God for her, and I hope God blesses her, to the day she dies. And she's still to this day working doubles, working long hour shifts, taking care of her mother, making her own sacrifices, paying two houses and stuff. So she's doing great, and I'm proud of her and I love her to death. That's my mother. So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about today. Excuse me, I said talk to. And then another thing is, this kind of goes back to the struggles of a local artist. My first microphone, man, I kid you not, my mother, because she used to get, I think it was like some government-based income for when you watch like kids or whatever. So she used to watch my niece, like she used to get like $300 a month or something like that, whatever it was. But I used to help her watch her and stuff like that. So she said she would give me $80 for watching, my niece and things like that and helping her out. And I'm like, $80? I make music. I might as well use that for a mic. So, we go up to our local Sound Source. Shout out Sound Source. Not a sponsor. We go cop a USB microphone because, I'm only, 16 at this time, and I have no idea how to make music. I just know I watch YouTube reviews. I just know you plug that bit in there, and, you know what I'm saying, you just start recording like you don't need the interface, no whatever, just headphones and that. So mind you, the headphones that I had was a pair of Skull Candies that my mother had bought me that were broken by my little brother Sean at the time. And so they were broken, but they're still working. Like, it was just hanging off the wire. So what I did was, my older brother, he gave me like this raggedy old computer, probably had like 4 gigabytes of RAM on it. Probably had like a 0.25 Intel 1.5 processor. I'm just making things up, but it was running XP at the time, and I think we were already in Windows 7, going on to Windows 8 at the time. So, it was a really outdated computer, and I was using Audacity. So I made my first track with that mic. Mind you, I had to tape the microphone with duct tape onto a lamppost because I had no mic stand. And so we recorded our first track, me and my homie Devin, and we used Audacity. It sounded so awful, but we thought we made like the dopest remix in the world. We did the remix to I'm a Boss. I even think I remember my verse. Let me think. I'm going to spit it real quick. I think I said, because at the time I moved from Webster to Ronnequit, and we lived in PV, and that's like the projects of Webster. So we went from the city, the hood, to the hood of the suburbs to Ronnequit, and I love Ronnequit. But yeah, so my verse goes like this. I think it goes, see, I've been whipping through my old hood, PV, don't forget that around the quay, here I come. Goon Squad was our little rap group we had at the time, and then we went to Apex, and then, we did everything. But I was like, Goon Squad, we repping that, 585, that's where I'm at. Yeah, Devin Casper got my back. Matter of fact, my whole squad got it like that. 2 earrings in my ear, yes, swagged up. My niggas put the G in goons, we gooned up. What did I say after that? I was like, spitting rhymes so much, got me throwing up. I'm tired of rappers saying they gonna be big. I'm rapping to show niggas how I feel, kid. What did I say? A lot of homies lying, putting man, it was just awful, man. I might just make that track, because we got a lot of views, no cap. You know what I'm saying? We got about 500 views on that track. I might just make it on private, just so people can listen to it. Whoever listens to this podcast, let me know if you want me to make it on private. But yeah, so oh my god, that song was awful. But Devin's verse was actually nice. I liked his verse, even though he was talking nonsense at the end of it, talking about he ain't going to college, it's not. Mind you, the boy went to college. Now he's trying to become a cop, so he definitely wanted to pursue his education. So Devin, you lied to everybody. Man, but he was saying anything. He was like, man, I'm done with. He was at the end of the track, he like, man, I'm done with the books, man. I ain't doing this ever again, man. I'm not going to school no more, bro. I'm about to just be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? We was 14 and 15, man. We didn't know what he was talking about. But shout out him on that track, man. We did a dope job on that track, even though it was terrible. So another thing I also want to talk about, I didn't really know, as a kid, I didn't know exactly what bullying or being bullied was technically called. You know what I'm saying? I just thought, a person made fun of you, that was that. But yeah, so it was just times, going to a majority white school, it was kind of hard, seeing everyone with money, come in with nice cars, whatever it was, and so there was a few guys that technically bullied me, I guess, but I didn't really take it. I didn't take it for granted until like I got older. But I'm not trying to be like I don't want to curse over the podcast and get flagged by YouTube, but I wasn't trying. I'm not trying to be like no cat right now. You guys really know what I wanted to say. It starts with a P, but yeah. So you know what I'm saying? They were like saying like it wasn't necessarily hurtful, but it was like really racist, and I didn't really know what racism was until I moved out there. You know what I'm saying? Like I was being called a porch monkey. I was being called the N-word with the hard ER. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, and you're outnumbered, and no offense to anyone out in Webster, you're so outnumbered. It's like you was to say something, people going like you like say for instance we in class and somebody says the N-word or something, and I'm like, yo, bro, you hear him? And I'm looking at one of the dudes next to me, he white, and he gonna look at me like, you know what I'm saying? What do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing you got to realize: white people can't relate to things that black people went through. So, and it's just a true fact. You can get offended all you want, but it's just a fact. You can't relate to the things that we went through. Not trying to be here complaining about things. And, a lot of people have excuses for everything, and I'm not going to get into that topic because it's a podcast based on music. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back on that. But, I experienced that and didn't necessarily know what it was, but I guess I was bullied, and it did kind of somewhat affected my life as I got older, but not to the fact where it's like, man, I hate white people, but it just showed me, kind of gave me different views on different situations. You know what I'm saying? So that affected my life a lot. And I'm not one to say, I am kind of, and I wouldn't say I'm into politics, but I am kind of like, let me put it like this. In college, I took African American studies. I said it. You know what I'm saying? So I am, I guess, a little pro-black, but that's besides this point. And I don't want to get into the topic because people get offended, and then it's this and that and that. But, so those were some of the things that I struggled with outside of music that kind of somewhat affect my music. I even have a track based on all three of them topics that I was talking about. If you check my SoundCloud, you'll find all them tracks. You guys let me know if you can muck rake. I'm trying to use terms from like 11th grade history, muck rake. But you let me know if you can analyze the things that I talked about today and how they relate to some of those tracks. If you're looking for the in particular tracks, I can leave the links in the descriptions. Just comment below. And so let's just get back on track of talking about the podcast and what we have in the future. So I'm gonna have a co-host soon, Adrian. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna talk about the things he went through. We're gonna have a little interview for him, introducing himself, and then we're gonna go from there. And then I'm gonna get a couple more episodes and see how it goes. And I think I want to make it up until I'm gonna make 10 episodes, and then if it doesn't do too good, I'm gonna just end the series. But if it does well, I mean, right now it's doing okay. It could do way better, but I'm gonna end it off with 10 episodes. And if it doesn't do how I want it to do, or if it does, then I'll keep going with more episodes. And if you guys like it, and then eventually I'll start putting it on Spotify and SoundCloud once I get a bigger fan base with this podcast. So, I think I'm gonna end this podcast right now. End it real fast because this is episode 3, really short, and I'm breathing really heavy right now. I don't know why I'm out of breath, but so I'm gonna end it right there, episode 3, and check out the last episode. It was an interview. So what I think I'm gonna do is every other episode is gonna be an interview, or just a few things we go over. Me personally struggling or whatever, or Adrian, whatever he wants to. Oh my God, that's banana bread at lunch. Banana bread. So just so we're gonna do interview, or no, I'm sorry, talk about whatever, and then interview, and then so forth, and so forth. And eventually I want to try to save up and give me a nice camera. I'm looking at right now. Let me pull it up on my computer. I'm looking at this. Let you guys, anyone that's into film, let me know what you think about this camera. I've talked to a couple people, and they said this is a great camera. And shout out to B&H, not a sponsor, but the Fuji X-T100 mirrorless digital camera. It shoots 4K. It's a great looking camera too. It has that champagne poppy color to it. You know what I'm saying? and it comes with a little kit on B&H.com. Comes with a bag and an SSD card, so that's kind of cool. I think I'm gonna buy this come December. Hopefully, you know, I can start vlogging and doing a little bit more with the podcasts and visuals and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. And B&H is dope, bro. I know it's kind of creepy how they got my information, but it shows me if I was to buy this camera today that I would receive it Wednesday. So that's kind of cool. They have free expedited shipping. It says want to buy Wednesday 10:30, order now with a 1 day saver to Rochester, New York. That's kind of cool. I definitely want this camera, bro. At first I was looking at the Panasonic G7, but it's kind of outdated, but at the same time it's not. It's the camera was made in 2016. This camera was made last year, and I guess they say Fuji, they're like really they're like Apple. They're really on top of their softwares. You know, they update all the time. So this camera will last me a while. Just change out some lenses, I guess. You know, I used to be in photography at school, but then I couldn't afford a camera, so I kind of cut that off. But anyways, I'm about to end this episode here. I really appreciate everyone that listens, to all the friends and family who listens to this podcast. Make sure you share and like and leave a comment below. Check out the previous podcasts. And I'm out of here, man. I appreciate it. Bye.